Welcome to KC Production. Today we bring you one of the most anticipated topics in global affairs, the top 10 military powers in the world for 2026. Before we continue, please like, share, and subscribe to KC Production for more amazing content. In a world shaped by geopolitical tensions, technological arms races, and evolving security threats, the strength of a nation has never been more critical. From hypersonic missiles to cyber warfare divisions, from nuclear deterrence to space-based defense systems, modern military power goes far beyond boots on the ground. In this video, we rank the world's 10 most powerful militaries based on a comprehensive set of indicators: defense budget and spending, defense technology and innovation, the quality and strength of military personnel, current military equipment and arsenal numbers, national security infrastructure, the strength of the domestic defense industries, and the overall impact on global peace and security. We are using the acclaimed Global Firepower Index 2026 as our primary data source, a ranking system that evaluates over 60 individual military factors across nearly 150 nations worldwide. Now we'll be counting down, starting from number 10, and building our way up to the single most powerful military force on the planet. Stay with us. This is going to be an incredible journey through global power. At number 10, coming in, is South Korea. A nation whose military has quietly evolved into one of the most technologically sophisticated and battle-ready forces in the world. South Korea's military journey is inseparable from its geography, sharing a heavily militarized border with North Korea, one of the world's most unpredictable nuclear-armed states. South Korea has had no choice but to invest relentlessly in its own defense capabilities. That pressure has over decades produced one of the most capable armed forces in the Asia-Pacific region. Defense budget and spending for South Korea maintains a defense budget of approximately $15 billion in 2026, making it one of the highest spenders in the Asia-Pacific. This investment has grown consistently year over year, driven by the ongoing threats from the North and ambitious national goals to achieve full strategic self-reliance by the end of this decade. South Korea is rapidly becoming a global leader in defense technology. The KF-21 Borame, a domestically developed 4.5 generation fighter jet, represents a landmark achievement in Korean aerospace engineering. It is designed to eventually replace aging fleets and may be exported to allies. South Korea is also a world leader in K-defense exports, including its highly regarded K2 Black Panther main battle tank, the K9 Thunder self-propelled howitzer, and the Chunmoo multiple rocket launch system. These are not just domestic tools, they are sold to NATO members and partners across Europe and beyond. Military personnel strength and quality. South Korea fields approximately 500,000 active duty military personnel, supported by a reserve force of over 3 million, a reflection of the country's mandatory military service policy. South Korea's arsenal includes over 400 combat aircraft, more than 2,000 tanks, advanced destroyer-class warships, submarines capable of firing ballistic missiles, and a growing fleet of surveillance drones. South Korea is host to a major US military presence, including 28,500 American troops, as part of a decades-long mutual defense treaty. This alliance acts as a strategic nuclear umbrella over South Korea and significantly multiplies its overall deterrence capability. The Korean defense industry, led by companies like Hanwha Aerospace, Korea Aerospace Industries, and Hyundai Rotem, is booming. South Korea became one of the top global arms exporters in recent years, with multi-billion-dollar contracts for artillery systems, infantry fighting vehicles, and light combat aircraft. South Korea plays a critical stabilizing role on the Korean Peninsula and contributes to broader Indo-Pacific security through its alliances with the US and Japan. Its military modernization is a direct counterweight to North Korean aggression and Chinese regional assertiveness. South Korea is number 10, but make no mistake, this is a military that punches well above its weight. At number 9, we have Japan, a nation with a uniquely constrained military history, but one that is undergoing its most dramatic defense transformation in decades. Article 9 of Japan's post-World War II constitution technically renounces war and prohibits the maintenance of war potential. Yet, in 2026, Japan Self-Defense Forces are among the best equipped and most capable in the world. This is perhaps the biggest military story in Asia. Japan has committed to doubling its defense budget to roughly 2% of GDP, a target endorsed by NATO and long demanded by the US. That brings Japan's annual defense spending to approximately $80 billion by 2026. Japan is a technological powerhouse. Its self-defense forces operate some of the world's most advanced naval vessels, including Aegis-equipped destroyers capable of ballistic missile defense. Japan is also converting its Lusmo-class helicopter carriers into full aircraft carriers capable of operating F-35B stealth jets, marking a structural shift in Japan's naval power projection. Japan is also co-developing the next-generation stealth fighter with the UK and Italy under the GCAP program, expected to debut in 2035. Japan maintains approximately 247,000 active duty personnel, relatively modest in size, but extraordinarily well-trained, equipped and disciplined. The quality and readiness of Japanese forces exceed those of many larger armies. Japan's arsenal includes over 700 aircraft, more than 1,000 armored vehicles, Aegis destroyers, advanced submarines, long-range cruise missiles, and a growing stock of F-35 stealth aircraft, one of the largest F-35 orders of any US ally. Japan is also acquiring a long-range strike missile to deter potential adversaries from attacking its territory. Japan holds significant US military forces across dozens of bases, including Okinawa and Yokosuka, home to the US 7th Fleet. This makes Japan a central node in the US-led Indo-Pacific security network. Japan's defense industry includes global giants like Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and Kawasaki Aerospace. While exports were historically restricted, policy changes now allow Japan to export defense equipment, opening doors for co-production with Australia, the Philippines, and European partners. Japan's military transformation is one of the defining geopolitical stories of the 2020s. Faced with a rising China, a nuclear North Korea, and an assertive Russia, Japan has chosen to rearm carefully but decisively. Its contributions to the Indo-Pacific stability, maritime security, and multilateral alliance frameworks are growing. Japan at number 9, a sleeping giant, now fully awake. At number 8, we have the United Kingdom, a nation with a long and distinguished military history and one that continues to maintain a globally respected, high, capable and technologically advanced armed force. The UK maintains a defense budget of approximately $68 billion in 2026, making it one of the largest defense spenders in Europe and a considered NATO leader in meeting the 2% of GDP commitment. Britain has recently increased defense spending further in response to the war in Ukraine and rising threat to European security. The UK is the world leader in defense technology. British-made Eurofighter Typhoon jet and the 5th generation F-35B Lightning stealth aircraft, operated from Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, represent the cutting edge of air combat technology. The UK is also a partner in the GCAP Next Generation Fighter program alongside Japan and Italy. British military technology also spans nuclear-armed submarine launched ballistic missiles, advanced cyber warfare capabilities, electronic warfare, and AI-integrated battlefield systems. The British Armed Forces maintain approximately 194,000 active duty personnel. Though smaller than some rival nations, British forces are globally recognized as the best trained, most experienced, and most professionally capable in the world. The UK operates 2 Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers, among the largest and most capable warships in the world, as well as a nuclear power attack submarines, destroyer and frigate fleets, Typhoon and F-35 aircraft, Challenger 3 main battle tanks, and an advanced arsenal of precision missiles and unmanned systems. The UK also maintains an independent nuclear deterrent through its Trident submarine-based missile system. The UK's global defense footprint is extensive, from the Falkland Islands to Cyprus, Gibraltar, Diego Garcia, Bahrain, and beyond. British military bases and overseas territories stretch across every major ocean. The UK is also a founding member of NATO and a permanent member of the UN Security Council with veto power. The UK defense industry is a global powerhouse. BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, MBDA and Babcock are among the world's leading defense contractors. Britain plays an outsized role in global security related to its size. It has been at the forefront of support for Ukraine, deploying weapons, training Ukrainian troops, and imposing sanctions on Russia. The UK also plays a leadership role within NATO, the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, and the AUKUS Security Pact with the US and Australia. The UK is smaller in size, but never small in impact. At number 7 we have Turkey, perhaps the most underrated military power on this list, and certainly one of the most geopolitically consequential. Turkey occupies a unique strategic position, straddling Europe and Asia, bordering the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, sharing land borders with Syria, Iraq, Iran, and others. That geography has made Turkey a pivotal NATO member and an independent military force to be reckoned with. Turkey's defense budget stands at approximately $40 billion in 2026, and it's growing. What makes Turkey remarkable, however, is not just how it spends, but what it has built with that investment. This is where Turkey truly shines, its defense technology development. Over the past decade, Turkey has undergone a revolutionary defense industrialization program. The Barkatta TB2 combat drone, developed entirely by Turkish engineers, became a global sensation after its devastating effectiveness in conflicts in Syria, Libya, and Ukraine. Turkey is now developing the Barkatta Akinci and TB3, even more powerful unmanned combat systems. Turkish-made tanks, missiles, warships, helicopters, and electronic warfare systems are now globally competitive products. Turkey has the second largest standing army in NATO, with over 355,000 active duty military personnel. Turkish forces have extensive real-world combat experience from operations in Syria, Iraq, and Libya, making them battle-hardened and operationally experienced. Turkey operates a large and diverse arsenal including hundreds of combat aircraft, thousands of tanks and armored vehicles, a capable naval fleet including frigates and submarines, and an increasingly impressive inventory of domestically produced drones, missiles, and electronic systems. As a NATO member, Turkey hosts the Incirlik Air Base, one of the most strategically important spaces in the alliance, reportedly hosting US tactical nuclear weapons. Turkey also controls access to the Black Sea through the Turkish Straits, the Bosphorus, and the Aegean Islands, giving it enormous strategic leverage. The Turkish defense industry has achieved remarkable self-sufficiency in recent years. Companies like Aselsan, Roketsan, Turkish Aerospace Industries, and Baykar have transformed Turkey into a Tier 1 defense exporter. Turkey is one of very few nations outside the P5 that produces its own main battle tank, combat drones, warships, and guided missiles domestically. Turkey is a complex and influential player in global security. It has been a key broker in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, mediating grain corridor agreements and prisoner exchanges. Its military interventions in Syria and Libya have shifted the balance of those conflicts. Turkey at number 7, an ascending military power and a force reshaping regional and global security. At number 6 on our list is France, the only nuclear power in continental Europe and a nation with one of the most well-rounded and globally deployable militaries in the world. France has committed to significantly increasing its defense budget, reaching approximately $56 billion in 2026 under its military programming law. As European security concerns have escalated following Russia's actions in Ukraine, France has pushed to make Europe more strategically autonomous, with French military capability at the core of that vision. Defense technology development with France. France operates the Rafale, one of the most advanced multi-role combat aircraft in the world, and a platform that has been adopted by India, Egypt, Greece, Croatia, the UAE, and Indonesia. France is one of only a handful of nations that develops its own nuclear weapons, submarines, aircraft, missiles, and armored vehicles entirely domestically. French defense companies including Dassault, Thales, Naval Group, and KNDS are global leaders. France maintains approximately 205,000 active duty personnel, including the legendary French Foreign Legion, an elite volunteer force with a global reputation for professionalism and battlefield effectiveness. France's arsenal includes nuclear-armed ballistic missile submarines, the Charles de Gaulle nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, Rafale jets capable of delivering nuclear and conventional strikes, advanced frigates, armored vehicles, long-range cruise missiles, and a robust space and satellite surveillance capability. France maintains a global military footprint through its overseas department and territories in the Atlantic Pacific, Indian Ocean, and Caribbean, as well as pre-positioned military forces in Africa, the Middle East, and the Gulf. France is a founding NATO member and a permanent UN Security Council member. The French defense industry is one of the most capable and exports-oriented in the world. France has been one of the most active Western military powers in recent decades, from operations in Mali, Chad, and the Central African Republic, to its naval presence in the Indo-Pacific, its role in NATO's eastern flank reinforcement, and its leadership role in European strategic autonomy. France, a global military force shaped by history, powered by nuclear, deterrence, and driven by an independent vision of world order. And number 5, we arrive at Pakistan, a nuclear-armed state with one of the largest standing armies in the world, and a military that has operated on the front lines of some of the most dangerous conflicts of the 21st century. Pakistan's official defense budget stands at approximately 10 to 12 billion US dollars, but actual defense expenditure factoring in off-budget spending and security sector allocations is significantly higher. Given Pakistan's security environment, defense spending is a national priority. Pakistan has developed an impressive indigenous defense capability. The JF-17 Thunder, co-developed with China, is a capable multi-role combat aircraft, now exported to other nations. Pakistan has one of the largest active duty armies in the world, with over 650,000 active personnel and a total military strength exceeding 1.3 million. Pakistani forces are battle-tested, having fought counter-insurgency campaigns against the Taliban and other militant groups for over 2 decades in the rugged terrain of the northwest frontier. Pakistan operates hundreds of combat aircraft, thousands of tanks including the AI Khalid MBT, advanced artillery, surface-to-surface ballistic missiles, nuclear-capable cruise missiles, and a naval fleet that includes conventional submarines and frigates. Pakistan is also acquiring and developing unmanned aerial systems. Pakistan's defense infrastructure is dominated by its military, which plays an outsized role in Pakistani politics and national security policy. The Inter-Services Intelligence (ISI) is widely regarded as one of the most powerful intelligence agencies in the world. Pakistan operates state-owned defense production facilities through the Pakistan Ordnance Factories and Heavy Industries Taxila, and is partnered with China for major defense co-production projects, and is increasingly producing its own naval vessels and armored vehicles. Pakistan's impact on global security is profound and complex. As a frontline state in the war on terror, a nuclear power with ongoing tensions with nuclear-armed India, a key partner of China and the States with deep influence in Afghanistan, Pakistan's military calculus shapes stability across South Asia and beyond. Coming in at number 4 is India, the world's most populous nation and an ascending military power that is rapidly modernizing its forces while simultaneously building a world-class domestic defense industry. India maintains a defense budget of approximately 81 billion US dollars in 2026, making it the 4th largest defense spender globally. India has made significant strides in indigenous defense technology. The Tejas light combat aircraft, the INS Vikrant, India's first domestically built aircraft carrier, the Agni series of ballistic missiles including the Intercontinental Range Agni-V, and the development of hypersonic glide vehicles and supersonic BrahMos cruise missiles developed jointly with Russia, represent landmark achievement. India is also aggressively developing its space warfare and cyber capabilities. India has the world's largest active duty army with approximately 1.45 million active personnel and a reserve force in the millions. Indian forces have extensive experience in high-altitude warfare, counter-insurgency, and UN peacekeeping operations. The Indian Army has fought in some of the most demanding environments in the world, including the Himalayas at altitudes over 5,000 meters. India operates the third largest air force in the world with over 2,200 aircraft, including Rafales, Su-30 MKIs, Tejas jets, and Apache attack helicopters. Its naval fleet includes 2 aircraft carriers, nuclear-armed submarines, destroyers, frigates, and an ambitious shipbuilding program. Its ground forces operate Arjun and T-90 tanks, advanced artillery, anti-tank guided missiles, and an increasingly indigenous logistics chain. India's defense infrastructure spans the length of the subcontinent and into the Indian Ocean. India's strategic reach now extends from the Red Sea to the South China Sea, underpinned by naval bases, port access agreements, and bilateral security arrangements with the US, France, Australia, Japan, and others. India is also a member of the Quad Security Grouping alongside the US, Japan, and Australia. India's military industrial modernization is one of the most ambitious in the world. Prime Minister Modi's Make in India program has targeted full indigenous production of aircraft, tanks, warships, missiles, and ammunition. Companies like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Bharat Electronics, DRDO, and Mazagon are delivering world-class products. India's strategic weight is enormous. As a nuclear power, a rising economy, and democracy aligned with the West but historically non-aligned, India plays a pivotal role in Indo-Pacific security, the balance of power with China, and the future of global military cooperation. India at number 4, an ancient civilization with a modern military on the rise. At number 3, the People's Republic of China, the world's most populated nation, the fastest growing military power of the 21st century. China's official defense budget for 2026 is approximately $235 billion US, second only to the US. However, most Western analysts believe actual Chinese military spending is considerably higher once all security-related expenditures are accounted for. China has made breathtaking advances in military technology over the past 2 decades. The J-20 stealth fighter, the F-17 hypersonic glide vehicle, the DF-41 intercontinental ballistic missile, capable of striking anywhere in the United States, the Type 003 Fujian aircraft carrier with electromagnetic catapults, space-based anti-satellite weapons, and arguably the world's most advanced drone swarm capabilities represent a military that is no longer simply copying Western technology, but pioneering its own. China's military force, with approximately 2 million active duty personnel spread across the Army, Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, Strategic Support Force. Chinese military quality and professionalism have improved dramatically. Though the PLA has not fought a major war since 1979, a factor some analysts note as a structural limitation. China operates the world's largest navy by number of ships, with over 370 warships and growing. It has the world's second largest air force, thousands of tanks and armored vehicles, the largest arsenal of land-based ballistic and cruise missiles in the world, and a space program designed with military dimensions. China's nuclear arsenal is estimated over 500 warheads, a number that is growing rapidly. China's military infrastructure includes artificial island bases in the South China Sea, heavily fortified with runways, missile batteries, radar systems, and military garrisons. China's defense industry is the most rapidly expanding in the world. On number 2, Russia. Despite the devastating toll of its ongoing war in the Ukraine, Russia retains the second most powerful military on earth, with a defense budget of $1 to $6 billion in 2026, but its actual war spending is considerably higher, with military expenditure consuming an estimated 6 to 7% of Russia's GDP. Russia's defense technology legacy is extraordinary. The S-400 and S-500 air defense systems are among the most capable surface-to-air missile systems ever built. The Kinzhal hypersonic missile, the Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile, the Swedon nuclear-armed underwater drone, and the Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle represent Russia's investment in next-generation asymmetric weapons designed to defeat US missile defense systems. Russia maintains approximately 1.82 million active duty personnel, with reserves numbering in the millions following wartime mobilization. Russia possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal, approximately 5,580 warheads, of over which 1,700 are deployed on strategic delivery systems. It operates over 4,000 military aircraft, around 12,000 tanks, though many in reserve and varying condition. Russia's military infrastructure spans 11 time zones with hardened command bunkers, underground nuclear facilities, Arctic military bases, Baltic Sea, Arctic and Pacific, with naval ports. Despite Western sanctions, Russia has adapted its defense industry to wartime production through parallel import, domestic substitution, and partnerships with Iran, North Korea, and China for components and ammunition. Russia's war in Ukraine has caused the greatest disruption to European security since World War II. Russia at number 2, diminished but not defeated, scarred but still formidable, nuclear armed and dangerous. At number 1, the United States of America, the most powerful military force in the history of human civilization. The US defense budget for 2026 stands at approximately $895 billion, more than the combined defense spending of the next 10 largest military in the world. American military technology is in a class of its own. The F-35 Lightning II, the world's most advanced stealth multi-role fighter, the B-21 Raider, the world's newest stealth bomber, the Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers, etc. The Columbia-class nuclear submarines as well, hypersonic weapon programs. The US military is not merely leading in defense technology, it's defining what defense technology means. The US maintains approximately 1.33 million active duty personnel, supported by 800,000 reserve and National Guard forces. US military personnel are the best trained, best equipped, and most operationally experienced soldiers, sailors, airmen, and marines in the world. From the Navy SEALs and Army Rangers to Air Force pilots and Marine Rangers, American Special Operations Forces are the most capable allied units on the planet. The US possesses the world's most powerful military arsenal of over 13,300 military aircraft, more than the next two nations combined, 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, over 70 nuclear-armed submarines, approximately 5,550 nuclear warheads, a global network of over 750 military bases in 80 countries, and the world's most advanced cyber and space warfare capabilities. The US Space Command and Cyber Command are now permanent unified combatant commands with global remit. No nation in history has built a military infrastructure to match America's global reach. US bases span the Pacific, the Atlantic, Europe, Middle East, and beyond. America's military-industrial complex is the world's largest. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon Technologies, Boeing Defense, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics. These corporations produce the weapon systems that define 21st century warfare and they supply allies and partners around the world. The US is by far the world's largest arms exporter. The US remains the linchpin of international security order. In the Middle East, US forces and partnerships shape the balance of power. Wherever the world's most dangerous crisis erupts, the US military is not far behind. The US, at number 1, is the undisputed apex of global military power. And there you have it, the global top 10 military powers in 2026, according to the Global Firepower Index and the Comprehensive Assessment of Defense Spending, Technology, Personnel, Equipment, Infrastructure, and Global Impact. Military power is not simply about weapons, it's about strategy, alliances, will, and the capacity to deter conflict before it begins. The nations on this list shape the world we live in, for better or for worse. From South Korea's technological ingenuity at number 10 to the sheer unrivaled dominance of the US at number 1, these nations represent the iron spine of global security in an increasingly turbulent world. If you found this video informative and insightful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to KCA Production for more powerful, fact-based content on global affairs, defense, and international security. We have more great videos coming your way. Until next time, this has been KCA Production. Thank you for watching.